Hello, everybody. How you doing? Happy Thursday to you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me here today. We have got some fun new products that we're going to play with today. Taking a little break from Christmas projects, but you're going to love this new suite that I'm using. My name is Lori DeGroot from Loritamarie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I'd love to come here live on Thursdays so that I can share fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration with you to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects. So like I said, we are featuring a brand new suite that just came out with the November online exclusives, and this paper is so pretty. This is the Brush with Beauty suite. You're going to love the cards that we're making today, and I'm going to show off all the suite and the paper and everything. It's just so, so pretty. I had my monthly card class last night, and everyone loved the paper already, and we had such a good time making our projects, and it just made me think, one of the reasons why I do this is I love to create opportunities and ways for you guys to get crafty and get creative. So if I can create a space for that by hosting classes, or if I can create ideas for you by these online ways, that is my goal. So my next class is called my Make It Merry Mini Retreat, and it is all about Christmas projects, but not cards. So we're stepping it up beyond cards, and we've got some really fun projects that we're going to make. And so this class is local on November 22nd. So if you live in Calgary or nearby, you can come to the local class. If you're not, there's also a retreat in a box version where you're going to get all the goodies in a box, and I can ship it out to you anywhere in Canada. And of course, if you're outside of Canada, I always have a tutorial option so that you can kind of gather your own supplies and your own create your own kind of fun Christmas crafting afternoon. Get your hot chocolate or your special Starbucks coffee. Today's Red Cup Day, so the Starbucks coffee came out today. So I love the Christmas menu. And then you just create a fun afternoon. So the registration is open until next Thursday. I have an early bird special, so if you sign up by Saturday and you live in Canada, I can send you a free gift with your class. And I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of the projects, not all of them, and not the completed ones either. I've got some tweaks to make. But the first one is this beautiful little joy banner. So we're going to make this banner, and you're going to kind of customize it to how exactly you want it. With the retreat, you're going to get all the supplies that you need, a goodie bag full of things, and this is like special adhesive, special paper, embellishments, even some brand new ones. And so you're going to get lots of fun things. We're going to make some kind of like specialty designer tags. And so one is this cute little honeycomb tag. We're going to make that little honeycomb tree. I love all the honeycomb stuff that's been out for the last couple years. And so this is my little take on that. We're going to make a cute shaker tag. And I've got some other fun surprise projects that we're going to make too. So be sure you sign up by next week. The deadline is Thursday. Information's at my website, loritamariecrafts.ca. And yeah, I hope that we can share this fun kind of retreat style class together. Okay, so today's projects, let's get to our crafting for today. So it features the Brush with Beauty Suite collection, and this is my weekly class to go. So I'm starting this new weekly class to go where I'm still making all these fun projects, but now if you place an order with me, I will send you all the supplies, like all the paper cut and prepped for you to make these cards at home. And so all the details are in the description here, or you can check out my weekly class to go post on my website too. So let's bring you down to my desk because you're gonna die for this paper, I think. If you love floral paper at all, put this on your list already because I couldn't believe it, to be honest. I opened it yesterday and I was like, oh, that's pretty. And then I go to the next pattern. Oh, that's so pretty. And then I just got more and more excited as I went along. I don't know why you can get so excited about paper, but one of my friends was at my class last night. She too has this paper and she's like, I already bought a second pack because it's like so beautiful. So I'm going to walk through all the patterns with you, and then we'll get to the bundle and the cards that we're going to make today. So it's called Brush with Beauty, and it's all these beautiful florals in like an incredible color combination. So Darling Duckling Crumb Cake Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, and Mossy Meadow. Like it's Lost Lagoon too, and Lost Lagoon. Like so fun. Of course, you watching out in this video is never as good as the real thing. So hopefully you can get yourself a pack. This is the other side, all your coordinating patterns. Isn't that nice? And the fun thing about this suite is that this is one of Stampin' Up's new craft classes, the online craft classes. So you could purchase Stampin' Up's craft class. It is a live event on November 20th, but you can get it anytime and kind of watch the replay later. And you're gonna make amazing projects, kind of stepped up fancy projects, I'm imagining anyway, with this suite. And so you can use my class as kind of a kickstart, and then you could take Stampin' Up's class and kind of take the crafting further with this suite. So that's really fun. So this is our beautiful paper. I'm going to be using some of my favorite patterns today. And I just wanted to show this one off one more time because it's got an edge on it. So if you're a scrapbooker, you see how it's got like a soft edge on it instead of the pattern going all the way. Love that. So pretty. Okay. I could just talk about that paper forever. So the bundle also, or the suite also has 2 bundles. And we've got the new packaging. I talked about this 2 weeks ago on my video on the Hobby Haven suite. So go check that out. I love the new packaging because I'm all about like less stuff and less space. And so now everything is so small instead of like the big DVD cases, right? You just, it's so great. So for my stamp sets, I tuck in the flap and then I have it kind of open all the time. And then I can just grab my stamp out of there. And this is the solution I like the best right now. This one, I put the paper in. These are the dies. I tuck the flap in, and now I can just easily pull out my dies. And I can tell you now from a practical standpoint, it's so great. I just go grab my dies and it pops out. It's easy to slip back in. I'm not fussing with the flap. It's great. I love it. So these are the 2 bundles. One's called Words of Beauty. And obviously you've got the Just Because here in big. And so you're coordinating dies and some label pieces. And I love a good mix and match stamp set where you've got all the sentiments. Today I'm going to be making all birthday cards because I realized I have no birthday cards. I'm too many thank you cards. So it's all about birthdays today. There's a lot of November birthdays and I was like, I gotta like make birthday cards. And the second bundle is called Petals of Beauty. And so we've got all our lovely florals. So we're going to be stamping today so you can see how those work and using some of those awesome leaf dies. I mean, you can't have too many leaf die shapes, is my opinion, because those are the things I love adding onto my cards all the time. So what we're going to do today is start simple and kind of build our way up so that we can see all the pieces. And one of the stars of the show is Vellum. Hello, Cheryl. Vellum's been around forever, of course, but Stampin' Up hasn't sold it for a while, and now it's coming out in this nice big 12 by 12 pack. And so today, every card is going to feature a different way to use Vellum on our projects, and it's so fun. It's like what's old is new, right? You're like, oh, I haven't used Vellum in forever, so we're going to refresh it for you. So for our first card, I'm going to just use a basic white card base. This is start us off simple. And like I said, every card will just do a little bit more. And so when I'm first starting with the suite, I always grab my most favorite paper to start creating with. And so today I thought, yellow is my favorite color. Oops. So we're going to start with the yellow one because it's so cute. I love the design with the little detail on it. So to make our simple card, all we're going to do is add this to our card front. And I just need to trim it a bit. So I like a really thin mat. So I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch mat. So I'm going to cut this to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. But if you want to make it wider, then you can just adjust that measurement there. And we're just going to add this to our card front so that it is an easy background. So we'll just put this on. And this paper has vanilla and white in it. This pattern is leaning towards more white, so that's why I went with a white card base. But we'll be using vanilla on the other 2 cards, so you can see how that looks. So we'll just put that on, and now we need to use some vellum. So a standard way to use vellum is just use it as is. So we're just going to cut this to 3 by 3 3/4. 3 3/4. Just a nice little rectangle. And what this is going to do is just soften that pattern, right? So we've got the bright kind of yellow pattern. We put our vellum on there, and now we have a softer backdrop. to put our sentiment or whatever on. But because I want to keep this simple, we're not going to do too much, but we are going to do some die cutting. So I'm going to start with the Petals of Beauty dies, and I love this image here, or this die here. So we're going to start with this one, and we're actually going to cut it out right out of the DSP, this one with all the mossy meadow on it. So it's the back of that. So let's grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And both of these sets will fit in the mini. So if you've got the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you're good to go with both of these bundles. And cutting this right out of the DSP kind of just gives it some instant texture without you having to do anything, which is always good. We want to make it easy on ourselves, right? Okay. Just move this out of the way. And I'm just going to grab my take your pick tool just to poke it out. And then we can see it's got that nice kind of texture with it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my leaf and my sentiment first, and then I'll know kind of where to put my adhesive so we don't see too much adhesive on the vellum. So the great thing about the Words of Beauty dies is it has 3 label pieces. And so we've got 3 sizes, 1 each to go with all of the sentiments. So everything, here's my... So you've got all those choices. And so today, because I said birthday, I love that they included it's your birthday. So that's what we're doing on all the cards today. But easy to tweak up this design and use whatever sentiment that you want to use. So when I've got like a long kind of sentiment that can get kind of bendy, I kind of just put it loosely on my surface so that it lays straight, and then I pick it up with my block, and then hopefully I've got it like nice and straight on my block. Oh, hello from Texas. Hi, Shanna. Thanks for joining us today. And I'm going to use this long label piece, and I've cut it out in basic white, and I'm going to stamp in Mossy Meadow. I typically just choose the darkest color in the DSP as my starting point for what I stamp my sentiments in. And then it will just pop off your card a bit better. So with photopolymer, we've got that nice, easy placement so we can get it straight, hopefully. And let's go ahead and put this on. So I'm just going to put seal on the back of my leaves, but if you prefer like liquid glue or whatever you like. And I'm going to angle it a little bit here. And then I am going to use dimensionals on the back of this because it's really hard for me not to use dimensionals. But if you want to just keep it flat, actually, I think what I'll do, you know how you always have to use up the edge of your dimensional sheet? I think I'll do that. Okay. So we'll put this on. And we're just going to layer that up there. And then now that I've got this, I'm going to go and put my adhesive everywhere that is hidden by detail. And then it doesn't actually show up too bad on this. So if you wanted to, you could add a little bit more in that corner if you want. So this is our quick and easy card. Super simple. And we're going to add some gems because, oh, the gems in this suite are so pretty. So these are called Pearls of Beauty. And you get white and Calypso Coral and Crumb Cake, and they're shiny. They're so cute. So we're going to use the white, and I'm just going to put a couple on there. Fold up our card. And bone folder. Let's grab that. All right, so there's our first quick and easy card. And of course, you pick your favorite pattern, or you could make a little set in each of the patterns. That would look good. So this is our first card. For our second one, now we're going to use a colored card base. So that's one way to kind of step up your cards instead of just using white. So this is petal pink. I love petal pink. I'm always excited when it's in a pattern of DSP. So again, we just have a standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored in half at 4 1/4. And then the pattern it shows, maybe I'll show you the big ones that you can see. I've already cut it down. So this is the pattern that I'm using for this one. Oh, it's gorgeous. So pretty. I did not think I was going to like this suite as much as I did, to be honest. And because I got the Hobby Haven one first, and then I was like, I don't know, but I'm so glad I got it because this paper, I'm obsessed. So pretty. So this is cut to 3 1/4 by 4.5. And then I'm going to mat it so it just pops off the card a bit better. So I'm going to mat it on crumb cake. And so this is just 1/4 inch larger. So it is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then we're going to go ahead and put this on to our card. And then we're going to get into the dies again and use that fun word dies with the because. Oops. Okay. And if you don't like, I either like a really skinny border or I love this big fat border on my cards right now. So if you want to change, this could be changed to any size that you kind of like. I like seeing all that petal pink around the edge though. So we're going to start there. And then next we're going to get into our vellum. So first vellum is just the backdrop to soften the card. The second time here, we are going to cut out our leaf shapes out of our vellum. So we'll grab those dies and both of the kind of standalone leaf shapes. And we'll grab our machine again. I wonder if we should cut everything out at well. I've already started. We do have another thing to cut out, so we'll just go ahead, pop those on. And run this through. Okay. So fun, right? And so when you're cutting vellum details like this is just a nice way to add a soft detail to your card, and it doesn't take away from the pattern, which is what I really like with this paper because I love the pattern so much. I don't want to cover it all up. So this gives a little texture to your card without you covering it up. So we've got that. And then let's grab those word dies. So you've got the just and you've got the because. And so you can stamp them and then cut them out with the coordinating die, or you can cut them out. And there's actually 3 for each word. So we've got a fat one and we've got a slightly smaller one. So you could even layer up 3 times. And then you've got the word. So we're going to cut out the word in a second, but you can see that you've got 3 sizes, which is kind of fun. So you could mat them 3 times, or you can just do the once, or you can choose which one you want to use. And so when I'm cutting something that's so delicate and fine like this, I'm going to use my adhesive sheets for sure. So I've got a piece of Mossy Meadow, and I've just cut a strip to size of the adhesive sheets. They come in a pack of 6 by 12. And sometimes you can get where the strip is already there to peel the backing off, but I'm just going to fight with the corner a bit here to get my backing off. There we go. And then we just put it onto our cardstock. And now whatever we cut out from this way is a sticker. So great, right? So we'll grab the because. And we do need to cut this out. Grab our machine one more time. And this is just so much easier than trying to fuss with glue and stuff like that when you've got a detailed die like this. I love my adhesive sheets. So great. And the Christmas set called, what's it called? Words for the Season, where it has all the Christmas words. Oh, love those dies. So that would be this is how you would cut those out as well, because they're about the same size as these. All right, so we'll pull that out. And then all the little pieces should just fall out. So I'm going to set mine on the smaller of the two basic white that I cut out already. And I just peel off the backing. If it's hard to peel off the backing, you could always use your take your pick tool to kind of get you started. And then I just kind of start at the beginning and then just kind of go one letter at a time to kind of get it to sit where you want it to. Okay. So because, and then I got a label piece again. And what are we stamping? Because it's your birthday. So birthday cards. Okay, so we'll just do Mossy Meadow again. So that's done. And now we can start putting it all together. So not too hard, a couple things to cut out, but the layout is pretty simple and easy to recreate. So I'm going to start by putting these on. And I did use liquid glue this time because I wanted to try it out and see how it stuck, and it went really well. And you couldn't really see the glue once it dried, so that was good too. So I'm just gonna, and when it's really detailed, like I should have used an adhesive sheet. I didn't even take my own advice. I'm gonna, so you could cut this out with an adhesive sheet, which I will do next time. This time, I'm just gonna put little dots of glue. I know you can't really see it, but I just put little dots. I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute, just to make it more tacky. And then for my because, I'm going to use mini dimensionals here. And we'll just pop these up. And then if you wanted to create a couple skinny ones, you can just cut the edge of your dimensional sheet. Or you could cut a dimensional in half, but these are so small, I find this easier. Okay. And did I put, yes, and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of this too. I think I'll use my edge again. And get that one. Okay, so now we've got all our pieces ready. And so I'm kind of picturing these off to the right side, like so. And then you just kind of like hold it down for a second until it starts to stick. Hopefully I didn't get glue everywhere. Then we'll peel off the backings of all our little dimensionals. And then we still have our third card to make. So if you're in Canada and would like to place an order, if you're local, you can place an order $50 or more, and I'll send you this kit. Or you can pick up the kit for free. If you're out of town and need me to mail it to you, it just needs to be $65. That just helps cover the mailing costs a little bit. And then you'll get all these pieces cut, and then you just have the fun of assembling these cards. Cute. We got to add some of our gems. And so this time I'm going to do crumb cake. And we'll just put 3 around, and I'll hold it up to the camera here in a sec. And we still have one. Yeah, I said that already. One more card. So here's the second one. And so our vellum, it's just subtle, right? That's what I like about it. It's just a subtle detail that we're adding. And obviously this could be easy. You could make a little set and then you change your sentiment up every single time. And then you have a little set. All right, for our third card, we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to use the embossing folder that comes with this suite. So this time I'm going to use Lost Lagoon as my card base. I have a piece of DSP, so this one with the fun flowers that are a little bit spread out. And I've cut this one to 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we'll just center that onto our card front. I got glue everywhere now. And we're gonna grab our vellum. And this time I got a piece that's 4 by 3. And so, like I said, there is an embossing folder that goes with this suite called Beautiful Patterns. So we're going to emboss this. So we'll just grab all our pieces. So this, I watched a video where they were explaining this folder and they said it was made after like paper towel pattern. Isn't that funny? And I showed this last night in my class and we're like, yes, it does look like paper towels. So remarkably, it looks really good on a card. So I'm just gonna line it up here with that black line at the bottom of the folder, close it up, and we're gonna need our platform 1. And it is a 3D folder, even though it doesn't say in the description, but I needed to use my plate 4 on top. So we will run this through. And so this is a third way that you can use vellum on your cards is it can be textured and then add a whole other fun element to it. So isn't that cool? Love that. Okay. So a little bit of trial and error sticking this onto my card yesterday. So I'm going to be putting a strip of DSP over the middle. So I'm going to put my adhesive kind of in the center and then center of my card, and it does overhang a little bit. It's 4 by 3. Then I have a piece of DSP that is cut to 4 by 2. And I decided that I tried the seal on the textured vellum and it didn't actually stick that great. So dimensionals stuck really well. It didn't move at all. So I'm going to use dimensionals on the back of this. And then it's going to stick to that textured vellum. I love this crumb cake stripe pattern. Don't you always wish like your favorite neutral pattern was on the back of like your least favorite flower pattern? But I love this flower pattern too. So might just have to get another pack so I can use up all the things. And I'm just going to center that in there. And this is just the backdrop so we can do some stamping. So I wanted to show you the stamp set as well. So I'm just going to stamp on basic white, but you could obviously stamp on, what I'm looking for, on very vanilla as well. I gotta get used to this new packaging. Here we go. So we'll just grab our stamp set. Okay, so we'll start off easy and I'm gonna stamp the leaves and grab some blocks here and we'll stamp this in Mossy Meadow. Brand new, extra sticky, right? So when it's solid, just make sure you've got good pressure and you can kind of see if you've got all the color transferred onto your paper. So that's that one. Then we're going to stamp a flower into Darling Duckling, which is the yellow in this paper. So just clean that off. So this is 2-step stamping. So there is a more solid image. We'll grab another block. And then there's a detailed one. And then there's a little tiny center of the flower that we're going to need too. So we'll pick that up. And I find it easier to stamp the detail first. So we're going to stamp that one. And then we'll stamp the solid one. And to create the difference, we're going to have to stamp off one time. I'm just going to grab a scrap paper here. So we'll ink that up, stamp it off one time, and then line it up. This one has, I always call it a wonky flower. So it's got one petal that's wonky. So that's how I'm going to line up the rest of the flower, starting with that one. pretty. And then we've got that little center, and I'm just going to stamp that in early espresso because that's the brown in the paper. So there's our yellow flower. So that's a large size. Now there's a smaller size, and we're going to stamp that one in petal pink. So I'm just gonna clean off my stamps, and then we can grab the next one. Oh, I got yellow all over my fingers. Oh, everything's always so sticky when you first get it. Okay. There's also a cute little set of 3 flowers that you can stamp and a couple other leaf shapes. So there's lots of variety there. So here's the small one. And again, I'll do the detail first. Then the solid one stamped off one time. Line up with the wonky flower. There's that one. And we'll do our little flower center. Perfect. All right, now we'll cut these out. The craft desk is getting messy now. We're getting all the things out. And then it's going to be really quick to put the rest of this card together. And then we're all done. Our 3 cards. All right. So we'll get all our pieces here. So this is the Petals of Beauty dies. And so, of course, we've got our dies that line up. Remember the little wonky petal? Easy to line up. This one's like extra wonky. So sometimes it's hard to line up the flower dies, but this one I found really easy. And there's our leaves. And if you find your dies move around on you, you can use a Post-it or washi tape to hold them in place. I'm just going to wing it, hope for the best. And we'll run that through. Oh, I love a good flower stamp set. This is another really pretty one. And then in the dies, you've also got details, so you can layer these up again. So you have got these ones here, right? So it's going to cut out a detail. So you could just cut it out solid, or you could add another detail on top of that. So lots of fun ways to do it. Yeah, right? Sometimes you really have to see how a stamp set works. She also, she wasn't sure until she saw me stamping it. So yeah, sometimes you've really got to see how things stamp to see how awesome it is. Okay, so let's put things together. Oh, I'm going to stamp my birthday sentiment one more time. So I've cut out that shape again, and this time it's in very vanilla. Okay. So because I have this puffed up, I'm just going to use seal on the flowers so that we don't have too many dimensional layers, but I think I will puff up the happy birthday. Okay. And we'll just, however you want to do your flowers. Kind of like that. Then I thought there's no ribbon that technically goes with this suite, but linen thread, right? Looks perfect with it. So when in doubt, grab your linen thread. And then I usually just use my fingernail to straighten it out because sometimes it's like too curly to work with. Okay. And I'm just going to do my usual loop-de-loop back and forth. So however you like to add ribbon to your projects, if you like a little bow, I just kind of loop it back and forth so it looks like a bow without me having to tie a bow. And then I just stick it in a glue dot to hold it all together. And then I think it's about there that I need it, kind of between the flowers. And then I'll put the sentiment over top. And I think I'll keep using up my edges. I got lots of sheets on the go with dimensionals here. Okay. And layer that up. Actually, sometimes I would try to make a break with my dimensionals so it wasn't laying over my twine to make it more flat. So I might tweak that later. And then we just need our gems. So I'm trying to use all the colors. So of course, this time we're going to use the Calypso Coral. Oh, and they're so pretty. They are shiny. And we have our third card. So each featuring a different part of the Brush with Beauty suite. All birthday cards, because we always need birthday cards. And each showing just a different but simple way to use the vellum that also comes with this suite. I'm just gonna come back up here. So thanks guys for hanging out with me, for watching live. Thank you all of you for watching live. If you're taking the time to watch the replay, I always appreciate that as well. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on my next videos. If you love these cards and just you want to place an order so I can send you the little card kit for free to make these cards on your own, don't forget you can do that up until next Wednesday. And then my Make It Merry mini retreat is open for registration. We're going to be making some fun Christmas projects, and I'm looking forward to spoiling you with favors and lots of fun things. And I'll be back next week with more Christmas projects. So we still have a few weeks of Christmas projects so we can kind of get things done a little ahead of time, right before December. Isn't that always the goal? We'll see. So I think next week I'm going to make tags, so that'll be fun. I appreciate you guys and hanging out with me here today, and I will see you later next week. Thanks. Take care.